My dad's mistress wants us to be a family, so I yelled at them and sent my dad into a depression. I know the title sounds awful, but hear me out. I'm using a throwaway account because some cousins know my main one. I'm an 18-year-old guy, an only child. I live with my mom full-time. My parents are divorced. A bit of quick context. My whole life, my mom was the one who took care of everything for both me and my dad. They both worked full-time, but my mom handled breakfast, lunch, dinner, grocery shopping, cleaning, and laundry. What did my dad do? He mowed the lawn, shoveled snow, and fixed things like the sink if it broke. When I was younger, I adored my dad because he did fun stuff with me. He took me to games, played with me in the yard sometimes, bought me McDonald's or ice cream. He was the fun dad, while my mom was the one who worried about me. She always cooked for me, helped with school, packed my backpack, comforted me when I was sad, and took care of me when I was sick. As I grew older, I started noticing more and more how much my mom did while my dad just sat on the couch watching TV or whatever. When I was pretty young, my mom asked me to help with cleaning and stuff, and I remember getting mad when she did. I didn't want to clean. Who does? But one day, after she got upset because I wouldn't even pick up my things, I yelled at her to leave me alone. I was maybe 12, and that day I heard her crying in the bathroom afterward. When I realized I'd made her cry, it hit me hard that she was doing everything for us and my dad barely did anything. I did nothing at all. I felt like I grew up overnight that week and started helping my mom a lot more. It became something that bonded us, talking while cleaning, grocery shopping together, etc. My dad was still the fun parent, taking me to games and stuff, but it increasingly bothered me that he didn't help with anything. When I was about 14, I once told him straight up that he never helped around the house, and he blew up at me. He screamed in my face and sent me to my room. My mom comforted me and said something like, "Let it go, you and I can handle this on our own anyway." The few times I got him to help, he'd always make a mess of it and end up arguing with my mom. Now I realize he probably did it badly on purpose so we wouldn't ask him again. When I was 15, my mom found out my dad had been cheating on her. He'd been unfaithful for about a year. They had the biggest fight I can remember, and that same night, my dad moved out to live with his mistress and her daughter from a previous marriage. He came back a few days later to grab most of his stuff. I don't remember much about the divorce process, just that my mom was devastated. When it was finalized, she hit rock bottom. I fed her, helped her get into the shower, held her at night. I'd never seen her so broken, and if I already hated my dad for what he'd done in general, I started to completely despise him for what he did to my mom. My mom's family helped us too, but I was the one there day in and day out since no one could move in with us full-time. At 16, I got a job to help out at home. It took my mom maybe 6 months to start becoming herself again. She became a stronger, happier woman, and I'd never seen her so full of life as she was after splitting from my dad. A month or two after the divorce was finalized, my dad started insisting I live with him 50% of the time. I basically told him to go to hell, but my mom said I shouldn't completely cut him out of my life. So I started going to his place every other weekend. He tried to be all nice to me, and so did his mistress, but I couldn't stand it. The mistress, let's call her Helena, tried to be friendly but also boss me around, and I basically ignored her. She has a daughter from a previous marriage who tried to get close to me, but I ignored her too. Not even a year after the divorce, Helena got pregnant, and they had another daughter. My dad and Helena have tried to make me act like a big brother to their kids, but I couldn't care less. I'm 18 now and have gradually stopped going to my dad's house. I rarely stay overnight, just visit, and he keeps trying to blame my mom for it. Helena's been getting more and more attitude with me, trying to emotionally manipulate me and make me feel guilty, saying things like, "They miss their big brother, you're so selfish." The last time I visited, we had a huge confrontation. I was there for like 20 minutes before Helena started lecturing me, so I just got up to leave. My dad blocked my way and told me I needed to grow up and let the past go. He said I couldn't be angry forever, that I was acting like I didn't love him, and that we're all a family. That's what made me snap. I started yelling that I haven't loved him in years. I told him he was always a lazy piece of crap who acted more like a child than a husband to my mom. That she always cleaned up after him, cleaned the house alone, did his laundry, cooked for him, brought him another beer even though the kitchen was 5 steps away. And all he did was complain and make demands. I said, yeah, he took me to fun stuff, but being a dad isn't just about that. He was never there for me, never helped with school, never drove me anywhere or picked me up, never comforted me. And then, after years of taking advantage of my mom and crushing her under his weight, he left and slept with some random woman and destroyed her. I screamed that a kid had to pick up the pieces of his own mother because her father was a useless piece of garbage. That I feel nothing for him, that I actually still hate him with every fiber of my being, and that I hate his mistress too. I turned to Helena and told her she means nothing to me, that she has no authority over me, that I don't give a damn about her or her daughters. I said I don't wish anything bad on her kids, but she's a horrible person for filling their heads with lies, telling them I'm their brother when I've told them 1,000 times I'm not. Then I looked my dad in the eyes and said, my father died to me years ago, and that man wasn't even a good father. You're just a stranger to me. I pushed past him and left. When I got home, I told my mom everything and broke down crying. She hugged me and said she understands how I feel but wishes I hadn't been so harsh for my own sake. My mom has never said a single bad word about my dad despite everything, and when I spoke badly of him, she always said it wasn't worth it. My dad and his new family were quiet for a few days, but then Helena started bombarding me with messages saying I'm a horrible son and that my dad hasn't stopped crying since. That I know he always wanted a son and a close relationship, but he failed as a father and I don't care. But now I'm also getting messages from Helena's relatives, people I've met once or not at all, saying I went too far, that everyone makes mistakes. But I don't think it was a mistake. I genuinely believe my dad is a terrible person, and I don't owe him anything. Still, I guess all this hate from so many people is making me second-guess myself. Maybe I should have just left without saying anything. So, am I the asshole? Update: Hi, my first post was removed because I tried to edit it and add an update in the same post, but it got too long and was taken down by the automod. I asked if they could restore it, but I don't know. For those who commented or just read my first post, I know it hasn't been long since I posted, but I got a lot of "you're not the asshole" and people agreeing with me pretty quickly. So I acted fast. That I sent my dad a long message that said the following: Hi Dad. I know what I said yesterday was harsh, but I'm not going to apologize for it. Growing up, you made it very clear what a partner and husband shouldn't be. Even though you and Mom worked the same hours, you always acted entitled to your free time and rest while she was left in charge of everything at home. I realized as a kid that Mom needed help, and every time I picked up your dirty socks or put away your dishes, I got angrier and angrier, realizing what a lazy piece of crap you are. A 12-year-old was doing more housework than his own father. Let that sink in. You did fun stuff with me, I'll give you that, and I appreciate it, but that's not all it takes to be a father. I needed you at other times, when I was sick, sad, stressed, when I needed help with homework or just wanted to talk to you. I know you always wanted a good father-son relationship, but we never really talked. Not small talk, I mean real conversations. Honestly, I feel like you don't even know who I really am. But every time I tried to get closer, you sent me to Mom because you'd had a long day at work. I hope, for the sake of your new daughters, that you start picking up your own mess. I can't stand Helena, but somehow I also hope she doesn't end up stuck in the same cycle of wiping your back and holding your spoon while you eat, without being allowed to ask you for a favor or rest. You need to tell her to get her family to stop harassing me about this, or I'm blocking everyone including you. Helena has no authority over me, and I don't respect her because she slept with a married man. She also has no right to a relationship with me. I've always tried to be polite but never close, because I don't see her as anything more than your mistress. She needs to get that through her head, and like I said, I'll never wish anything bad on her daughters, but I'm not their family. Filling their heads with those lies is only hurting them. Get that through your head. If you're unhappy in your marriage, you either try to fix it, go to therapy, or separate on good terms. You don't cheat on your partner like a jerk. It doesn't matter what you felt for Helena or Mom at the time, you should have separated from Mom before starting something with Helena. I'm 18 and even I know that. If the messages don't stop today, I'm blocking everyone. I'm already blocking Helena's family, but for some reason I haven't blocked you or her yet. This doesn't mean I've forgiven you, and don't think we can fix this. Because we can't. I'm not visiting for a while, and if I ever decide to again, it'll be on my terms. This isn't negotiable, and I repeat, if you try to pressure me or guilt trip me, I'll literally never speak to you again. I hope you go to therapy and get completely torn down so you can rebuild yourself into someone worthy of respect. Because right now you're not. Now leave me alone. About 3 or 4 hours later, my dad replied, "I understand," and nothing else. The random messages stopped. I don't know. Part of me feels free but also sad. I'm not completely burning the bridge, but I'm done with all their crap. So yeah, that's where I'm at now. Thanks for listening. Edit: the mods reposted my original post, thanks. Here's the link to my previous post. Some people doubted I'm really 18 and I get it. It's not like I wrote that message to my dad in 10 minutes and sent it. It took me an hour to write, and my mom helped me read it over and said it was okay. I've always loved books and reading since I was a kid. My mom never talked to me like a baby, so I started speaking in full sentences really young. She always brags about that. Anyway, thanks. This is my last post. Have a good life.